New chapter, neural control and coordination. Under these chapters, you know, initial few topics, already discussed, like structure of neuron, generation and conduction of impulse, structure of synapse, propagation of nerve impulse through synapse. All these are discussed actually. And so we have to start with actually central nervous system. We have to discuss this mainly brain. Although it is not in your syllabus, but a little about spinal cord. Then we will discuss the reflex action and reflex arc. Next, the sense organs. Sense organs includes nose, eye, and ear. Now, at first, we have to start with the central nervous system. Now, first of all, look. Already discussed, and these are to be discussed. First of all, just a minute, please. Okay. Now, first of all, I will rub it out, please. CNS, the first part is brain. It is protected by skull. First of all, it is protected by skull. Secondly, it is covered by cranial meninges. Striate from outside to inside, the layers are dura matter, arachnoid matter, and the pia matter. Dura matter, হ্যাঁ বলো না না ও সেন্টার হ্যাঁ সেন্টার এখন খোলা আছে ও আচ্ছা হ্যাঁ তাহলে আমি একটা মিনিট আমি কল করে নিই এরপর আপনি আমাকে একটা মিনিট পরে ফোন করুন আচ্ছা আমি একটু ফোন করতেছি এক্ষুনি আমি ফোন করে আপনি জানাইতেছেন এক্ষুনি একটু পর 5-2 মিনিট পর আমার একটা ফোন করুন হ্যাঁ সঞ্জয় ওই অক্ষর একজন আসতেছে ফিজিতে হ্যাঁ লেগেছে আমি বুঝে গেছি 9:30 থাকবো বসে ঠিক আছে 2টা ক্লাস দেখি অক্ষণ আগে 9:30 থেকে আইবে 9:30 মধ্যে আইবে ঠিক আছে হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে হ্যাঁ খোলা আছে জান আচ্ছা আচ্ছা ওটা পরীক্ষাটা কবে থেকে ধর ও আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে কিছুই তো এখন তো আমার সিলেবাস তো শেষ হয়ে গেছে এখন শুধুমাত্র যা যা ডাউট হয় তারপর পড়া যাবে ও আচ্ছা আচ্ছা আজকে সোমবার আজকে কি করতে পারবো আজকে সন্ধ্যাবেলা না ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে কমফোর্টেবলি পরীক্ষা দেয় তারপর জানবো নো প্রবলেম নো আচ্ছা ক্লাস সেন্টার হ্যাঁ Now you see dura matter and arachnoid matter. These two are separated by a space called subdural space. It's called subdural space. Remember these things. Again, arachnoid matter separated by a space called subarachnoid space. This space is filled with cerebrospinal fluid. So you see, or the dura matter and arachnoid matter are separated by a space called subdural space, and you know that the arachnoid matter and perimeter is separated by a space called subarachnoid space. And the most important thing you need to remember, subarachnoid space is filled with cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, which is in short called CSF. We also found in the brain ventricle. Now regarding the dura matter, you see first of all the dura matter. Most important, you need to remember it consists of fibrous tissue. It consists of fibrous tissue. Now, remember this thing. Spinal dura matter. Can I rub it out, please? To rub it out. Thank you. Now you see what I say. Spinal dura matter forms a loose sheath around the spinal cord. Now, in short about this is the dura matter. It consists of fibrous tissue and obviously protective in function. Next comes arachnoid matter. It is actually a layer of fibrous tissue. It is actually a layer of fibrous tissue, and it is separated from dura matter is separated from dura matter by subdural space, And what is found in the subdural fish? Actually, subdural fish is filled with serous fluid. And from the by subarachnoid space. So this is the arachnoid matter basically, and you know Aquaria contains CSA. So after that last one, in short about the parameters. Is a delicate layer of connective tissue. It adheres to the brain completely, covering the convolutions. So this is what about the the meninges. Inflammation of meninges, it is called meningitis. Refers to the inflammation of caused due to viral, bacterial, or fungal infection. Refers to the inflammation of meninges caused due to viral, bacterial, and fungal infection. So this is what about the, in short about the meninges is defined as, in short, basically it is protective in function, the most important function of which is. Is it clear to everybody?
স্যার কনভালশনটা কি?
রাখতেছে, পড়ছে, রাখতেছে।
আমি কিন্তু কমপ্লিট করব কারণ আমি বারবার হয়েছে এটা বেশি বেশি হয়েছে না এটা না না এটা একটু বেশি বেশি শুনতে দেখতে পারেন কি ও আচ্ছা দুইটা সাবজেক্ট দুইটা আজকে আমি আজকে খাতা নিয়ে নিব না চিন্তা করুন regulatory jam aske tumra koila na বুঝছো না এটা আজকে ঠিক হইছে তাই নাকি তাহলে সবাই যদি রেজিস্ট্রেশন করবে লিমিট আছে তো কয়দিন করতে হবে এটা সম্ভব
Just a minute, please. Just 1 minute. ওকে, এটা বুঝতে পেরেছি সবাই? ইজ ইট ক্লিয়ার টু এভরিবডি? হ্যাঁ, কার কোনো ডাউট আছে?
স্যার কনভালশনটা কি
ও
জিজ্ঞেস করেছিল?
দেখাচ্ছি না, একটু বই দেখাচ্ছি, নিজে দেখতে হবে। অ্যাকচুয়ালি our brain has a number of enfoldings and which are called convulsions. Are you getting me? Look one thing, I'm showing you. I'm showing two diagrams here. So it's a brain, and here what you will see, if you like, what are these called? Enfoldings. These are actually the convulsions. You know, this is the forebrain. Then here you will get the midbrain. This is the pons, medulla oblongata, cerebellum. If you go to this diagram, you see here, is it clear now? These are the, you know, enfoldings, so that it is a number of furrows. You will call these folds are called gyri, and these fissures are called sulci. So all these are the convolutions. Is it clear, Bida?
Yes, sir.
And through these convolutions, you will get the parameters lying inside the delicate connective tissue, a part of the meninges. That's what is said here. Now, before going to this, now you see that if you put the brain, then what it is found here. This is the thick band of nerve fiber separating two cerebral. These are the two cerebral hemispheres. These two cerebral hemispheres are connected by corpus callosum. What is corpus callosum? Is a separating or joining two cerebral hemispheres. Two cerebral hemispheres. That was a connecting. Best same thing. Okay. Now, below which okay. So they are the ventricles of brain. These two are called, I have to write. Lateral ventricles. Two lateral ventricles are separated from each other by septum lucidum and the lateral ventricles communicate with the third ventricle by interventricular foramina. The lateral ventricles communicate with the third ventricle by interventricular foramina. Interventricular foramina you will get here. Here you will get the foramina. This is called the third ventricle. This is the third ventricle, and this duct is called aqueduct of Sylvius or cerebral aqueduct. aqueduct of Sylvius or cerebral aqueduct. Clear? I'm repeating it again. There are 4 ventricles, and the last one, just below and behind the third ventricle. Just below and behind the third ventricle, there is 4th ventricle. Below and behind the third ventricle, that is 4th ventricle is located. Below and behind the third ventricle. 4th ventricle is located below and behind the third ventricle. And remember this thing, between the cerebellum and pons. Cerebellum and pons.
স্যার ওপরে দেখা যাচ্ছে না।
Estimate, দেখা দেখে দিচ্ছি। Clear? Between the cerebellum and pons. Clear? So it has actually 2 things most important here. 4th ventricle, I have to write now. Now I have to rub some areas actually because I am telling you.
স্যার নিচের লেখাটা কি বাই ইন্টারভেন্ট্রিকুলার?
Foramina. সেটা তো দুটো একটা সাথে মিশিয়ে দিস না কিন্তু। Interventricular foramina. Now what happens here, I am telling you, the 4th ventricle, you know, the 4th ventricle, basically it is continuous with the central canal. This is the central canal. Fourth ventricle is continuous with the central canal. You see, that to put it. Consider the central canal of spinal cord. Spinal cord. Besides, it communicates. Besides, what to write? I am telling you, besides, 4th ventricle communicates with the subarachnoid space. You know, 4th ventricle communicates with the subarachnoid space by foramina in its roof. 4th ventricle, write down better. I have no space to write. We cannot rub this out. Because 4th ventricle communicates with the subarachnoid space. 4th ventricle communicates with the subarachnoid space by foramina in its roof. In the roof of the 4th ventricle, 3 apertures are found. Median aperture called foramen of Magendie. 2 lateral apertures called foramen of Laska. Through this, the CSF is drained out from the 4th ventricle and carried to the subarachnoid space. Are you getting me?
স্যার 3টা অ্যাপারচারের কি বললে?
লিখে রাখ। আগে এটা লিখেছিস?
হ্যাঁ স্যার লিখেছি।
The 4th ventricle communicates with the subarachnoid space by foramina in its roof. Stop. 3 foramens are found. Hyphen. 1 median foramen. 1 median foramen called foramen of Magendie. Foramen of Magendie. Magendie. Okay. Foramen of Magendie. Or you can call it median aperture. The two lateral apertures called foramen of Laska. And two lateral apertures called foramen of Laska. LUSCHK. Through these foramens, CSF flows into the subarachnoid space. Clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's fine. Now coming to the, basically as we are discussing about the cerebrospinal fluid present here, so you have to discuss about this CSF now. So I am to rub some part here, please. Is it completed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you see, cerebrospinal fluid, or you can call it secreted into each ventricle of brain by choroid plexus. Listen carefully. What is actually this choroid plexus? First one, cerebrospinal fluid is secreted into each ventricle of what? Brain by choroid plexus. Now, actually, what is to get this choroid plexus? I'm writing here. You need just to. These are vascular area. Even. These are the vascular areas proliferation of blood vessels separated by or surrounded by ependymal cells. I think I discussed about the ependymal cells earlier. Is it visible? Look, what is it? CSF is secreted into each ventricle of brain by choroid plexus. Okay. Now, what is this choroid plexus? Actually, choroid plexus. What are these? Choroid plexus are the vascular areas where there is proliferation of blood vessels surrounded by ependymal cells. I think I discussed what are ependymal cells. while discussing the structure of neuron. Can you remember? Can you remember this? While discussing the structure of neuron, I discussed about the ependymal cells. Can you remember? Nerve cells containing neuron, neuroglia, ependymal cells. One cell thick epithelial layer of neuron is called ependymal cell. One cell thick epithelial layer of neuron is called ependymal cell. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it is clear up to this? Okay. After that, now what about this role of this, or how much CSF is secreted? Actually, CSF is secreted continuously at a rate about 0.5 ml per minute, or you can add 750 ml per day, 720 ml per day. But what is the amount of CSF present in the brain? The amount is fairly constant. Fairly constant, about 150 ml. Amount of CSF is almost 150 ml.
Sir, side দেখা যাচ্ছে না।
Oh, acha. কোথায় লিখবো আর? The amount of CSF is one, write down. The amount of CSF remains fairly constant at about 150 ml. The amount of CSF becomes fairly constant at about 150 ml, not more than that. And
Sir,
what?
So CSF is secreted sir এই জায়গাটা একটু বলুন।
Into each ventricle of brain by choroid plexuses. Okay. Now
No, sir.
what is?
So বাদিকে secreted continuously at a rate.
Continuously at a rate about 0.5 ml per minute. At a rate of about 0.5 ml per minute. So you can multiply 0.5 ml per minute means per hour. You can write, and then per day. It is, although it is 720 ml per day, but how much CSF is found to be present at a particular time, it is not more than 150 ml. That's why it is said the amount of CSF remains fairly constant at about 150 ml. Clear? It is about 150 ml, not more than that. Although if you calculate like this 0.5 ml per day per minute, then you will get 720 ml, but it is continuously draining out from there, so that the amount which is found constant is 150 ml. Clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now coming to this role actually. What CFS is going to do? Remember this thing, most important. First of all, what is CSF? I get to rub some place actually. Without rubbing, I can't write now. Can I rub this part, please?
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, you can't write. Look at the is a clear, slightly alkaline fluid. Its role, most important one, it supports and protects the whom? Brain and spinal cord. By maintaining a uniform pressure So it is to protect, support and protect how? By maintaining a uniform pressure around these vital organs. Another most important thing, it acts as cushion or shock absorber. Between brain and the skull. So it acts as cushion or shock absorber between what? Oh, between brain and skull. So that's why whenever small children are falling down from anyone, actually in least cases they are affected because here the CSF helps them a lot by acting as shock absorbers. Next one, it keeps the brain and spinal cord moist and help in exchange of nutrients and waste products. Helps in exchange of nutrients and waste products. Between spinal fluid and interstitial fluid. So this is what about the CSF. Is it clear now? Is it clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Now, next most important thing. pH of CSF ranges from 7.3 to 7.5. That's why it is said slightly alkaline. Is it visible? 7.3 to 7.5. So now this is about in short, about the cerebrospinal fluid. Is it clear? Any question? Any doubt? Okay?
স্যার শক অ্যাবজর্ভারটার একবার বলুন তো।
Basically, shock absorber which can absorb the shock. Shock means any mechanical stress. Are you getting me?
ইয়েস স্যার।
Now we are coming to the brain. I will rub this part now again. What is found in CSF? In short, I am writing here. Components of C. Can I rub it out, please? Can I rub this part?
ইয়েস স্যার।
Components of CSF. What will you found? Water, most importantly, mineral salts, glucose, plasma proteins, small amount of albumin and globulin. Amount of 5, you will get creatine, creatinine, and urea. And urea. This is what about the cerebrospinal fluid. How much it is? The constant amount is 150 ml. How much secreted? 0.5 ml per day. Role acts as supports and protects brain and spinal cord by maintaining uniform pressure around these tissues, the organs. And then it acts as shock absorber between the brain and the skull. Thirdly, it keeps the organs moist and helps in the exchange of materials between CSF and the interstitial fluid. So these are the components. So this is all about the cerebrospinal fluid. It is slightly alkaline and pH ranges from 7.3 to 7.5. Can I rub it out now?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
sir.
Yes.
So what is albumin and globulin?
Albumin and globulins are plasma proteins. You know, in blood plasma, I discussed in my animal tissue chapter. In blood plasma, albumin and globulin proteins are present. Can you remember? Albumin helps in maintaining osmotic balance, osmotic pressure in the body, and globulin actually protective in function. Can you remember? In blood, actually, 4 plasma proteins are found beside this albumin and globulin. One is fibrinogen and prothrombin. These two help in blood coagulation. Can you remember now?
Yes, sir.
I discussed while discussing animal tissue. Can I rub it out now?
Yes, sir.
Now brain. Forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain. Forebrain includes telencephalon, diencephalon. So here remember these things. The most important part of telencephalon is cerebrum. But Besides cerebellum, it also includes corpus striatum and rhinencephalon. Although rhinencephalon part is now under the limbic system nowadays. That's why I'm focusing on the cerebellum mainly. Rhinencephalon includes thalamus, hypothalamus, epithalamus, metathalamus. So the encephalon includes thalamus, hypothalamus, epithalamus, and metathalamus. And you know, thalamus is found here just side of the third ventricle. Here you will get the thalamus. If I am showing you like this, so this is the third ventricle, then you will get the thalamus here, hypothalamus, epithalamus, metathalamus. Almost the location is this. This is the thalamus. Just above thalamus, you will get the hypothalamus. Epithalamus. In between is the hypothalamus. In between epithalamus and hypothalamus, you will get the metathalamus. Now, under midbrain, you will get tectum. What to write? Okay, I will rub this diagram also. Tectum, cerebral peduncle. Includes cerebellum, pons varolii, medulla oblongata. So basically, midbrain is found surrounding the aqueduct of Sylvius or cerebral aqueduct. And on the dorsal surface of cerebral aqueduct, you will get the tectum made of 4 optic lobes. Hence it is called corpora quadrigemina. And cerebral peduncle may be classified as crus cerebri, substantia nigra, and tegmentum. Crus cerebri, substantia nigra, and the tegmentum. So this is what about the midbrain. Now, in the cerebrum again, in the forebrain area, in the limbic system is found consisting of, look, hypothalamus, amygdala, hippocampus, septum, mammillary body. So you will get in the four buildings. The most important part, the limbic system, consisting of the hypothalamus, amygdala, hippocampus, septum, and mammillary body. So we will discuss later on all these things. So first of all, you need to understand what it is found in different parts. Now, first of all, yes, any doubt?
স্যার নিচের জায়গাটা দেখা যাচ্ছে না।
এটা তো সমস্যা। এটা দেখাচ্ছে?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
This is the basic classification. You need to go through it, please. Or in short, classification actually is also in short. Sometimes as a component of limbic system, hypothalamus may not be considered, according to some. There is another term used sometimes called basal ganglia, also as a part of basal ganglia. Look at this now first. So, is it clear now? The hypothalamus, you write amygdala, hippocampus, septum. Septum means septal nuclei actually, septal nuclei. Mammillary body, basal ganglion. If I write limbic system here, can I rub it out, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. In short, simply about the limbic system, what it is found in the limbic system, then it will clear to you. What is controls? It controls the cortical areas. Then you will get the subcortical areas. Lastly, you will get the diencephalic areas or diencephalic structures. So limbic system includes this cortical areas. Then you will get under the cortical areas, you will get the hippocampus, mammillary body, septal nuclei. Amygdala, septal nuclei. Mammillary body. Septal nuclei. Hypothalamus. So in these also you can show that you can say hippocampus, mammillary body, and here clear? So this is what about the limbic system. You can add basal ganglion also anywhere here in the limbic lobe region. Limbic lobe. Includes basal ganglion also. So in this way, you can classify this limbic system. Can I rub it out now, please? Can I rub it out now? I am to study the cerebrum.
Yes, sir.
Cerebrum. If you go to the cerebrum, what is the most important regarding cerebrum? First of all, I have an idea about the, gray matter and white matter. Gray matter made of cell bodies of neuron, myelinated nerve fiber. In the brain, gray matter is found to be present in the periphery and white matter is in the center. If you go to the structure of brain, in brain in the periphery, or if you draw this diagram, you know there is the sulci and gyri. So in the periphery, here you will get the gray matter in case of brain. In the center, okay. So this is the white matter. Clear now? In brain, gray matter is in the periphery and white matter is in the center. Remember this thing. Gray matter is made of cell bodies of neuron and white matter is made of what? Myelinated nerve fiber. If it is in the spinal cord, in the spinal cord, you see the cross section of the spinal cord. In short, I am showing you the white matter. So in the spinal cord, gray matter is found in the center, whereas white matter is found in the periphery. You need to remember these things. Most important part. And as you know, Salkai and Gyre, you already know it. The cerebrum has a number of cerebral cortex has a number of convolutions or infoldings. And already I told you these infoldings, the folds are called the gyri, and the furrows or fissures are called sulci. They have to increase the surfacity of the cerebral cortex so that the cerebral cortex can be accommodated inside. And that's why if number of sulci and gyri are more, it is considered that there will be more neurons can be accommodated. So the degree of intelligence is said to be more in this case. So this is what about the sulci and gyri. Now, what I discussed about the white matter and gray matter, it is clear now. You need to remember the location of white matter and gray matter in case of brain and spinal cord. As you see, in case of brain, it is in the periphery, and in the gray matter, and in the white matter is in the center. In case of spinal cord, white matter is found to be present in the periphery, whereas gray matter is in the center. So this locational difference you need to remember. Now, if you go to the brain, then you will see there's a number of lobes here. This is the frontal lobe. This is called the parietal lobe. This is the occipital lobe. This is the temporal lobe. Clear? Is it clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to close today. Hey? In the next class, I'm going to start from here. Okay? If you will in doubt, then you can ask me in my next class on Wednesday. And our Wednesday class will also be online. Clear?
Okay, sir.
Can I close now?
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much.